AI is here, and I don't know how you feel about it. If you feel like Terminator level suspicion, if it's gonna take over the world, or if you're curious, just not sure how to use it. I wanted to give you 3 different tools that are AI that are unique ways that you can use them in your grief journey. Things that you might not have thought about that I'm excited to share with you today. I pray this episode blesses you. Welcome to Unlocking Joy After Grief. My name's Courtney, wife, mama of 6 kiddos, 1 in heaven waiting for us, and that's why I'm here. In 2017, we lost our 4-year-old son, Sam, and it's my joy to share with you everything this journey has taught me. So if you're ready for biblical encouragement, first-hand lessons, and support from a fellow grieving mama, then let's lace up our shoes and begin walking this road together. I know what you're thinking. This is not a normal grief episode. How can you pair AI and grief together? So I'm excited to kind of break that down for you of how AI can be used as a tool, and that's what it is. It's a tool to help us along in our grief journey. Now, what side of the camp are you? Are you fully embracing all of the AI, or are you still kind of unsure about all of it? I understand if you're a little hesitant, because I was too at the beginning, and some of it is still really weird, and I'm still not sure how I feel about all of it. But I have found a few tools that have been very helpful for me personally. Things that wouldn't have been possible before without AI that I think you'll be really interested to hear how you can use in your own grief journey. So today I'm going to go through 3 tools that 2 of them I've used personally. One my husband actually just sent me last week, which is actually what triggered the idea for this episode for me, that I have not used, but I'm planning on it because I just think it's going to be so amazing to see what AI can do. So anyway, we'll get into that. So here are the 3 tools that I've used or am going to use in my own grief journey. Okay, so the first tool I want to talk to you about is actually an aging tool. It's called Bylo, BYLO.ai. There's lots of different ones, but this idea actually came to me on Sam's birthday a couple months ago. He would have been 13. We lost him when he was 4, and he would have been 13. And I was sitting there at my desk, and I was just thinking about him, and I was like, I wonder what he would have looked like. I was like, I wish I could have seen what he would look like if he were still here and turning 13. And then out of nowhere, I was like, AI. There are so many of these AI softwares. They're like, what are you going to look like, when you're a grandpa or a grandma or whatever, But I was like, oh, that would be a perfect way for me to be able to get a little glimpse of what Sam might have looked like at 13. And so I just kind of Googled it and found this one. And all of these tools, I'll make sure and link in the description of this episode if you want to check them out. It's free. It's an AI age filter. And so what you do is you find a picture. I had one from when he was 4, and you upload it into the program, and then you put the age you want to see this picture at, or the age range you would like to for it to be generated. And it has a box where you can add any other information or things like that. And you just hit generate, and it generated this picture of Sam, of what he could have looked like. Of course, we never would know, but it was such a gift, especially on his birthday, for me to see what he would have looked like at this age if he were still here. Again, I'll link the one that I use. There's lots of different ones. You can also just Google AI age filter or aging pictures using AI, something like that. And just kind of see if you're curious, and you might not want to know, and that's okay too. There's no right or wrong thing to do in your grief journey. It might be too soon for you. you just really have to lean into what feels right to you. But for me, on his 13th birthday, that was such a gift. And I loved seeing a glimpse of what could have been, what he might have looked like if he were still here. Okay, so the next one is actually the one my husband sent me last week. It's called artlist.io. And basically what it does is it animates a picture. So you upload a picture, and again, I haven't used this one, but I just watched the video that explained like how it works. So you upload you upload a picture and it animates it. So it brings it to life like what they would have been doing in that picture. iPhones do that now. They call it live photos. So when you take a picture, it actually takes a video too. So you can like take the picture and you put your finger on it and it animates it because it took a video when it took a picture. Well, we didn't have that before we lost Sam. We actually got it right after we lost Sam. So all of Sam's pictures are just that. They're just still pictures. And there have been times over the last 8 years that I was just like, man, I wish we would have had these live photos when Sam were here, because I've pretty much memorized all of his pictures. All the pictures I have of him, I've looked at them a million times over the past 8 years. And so I was like, I wish it could come alive. Like I could watch him move in this picture, because we didn't have that live video option when we took those pictures. So this is a way that AI can take those pictures and bring them to life, kind of animate those pictures so you can see your child move at that age in that picture, when any other way that would not be possible. And so the last tool is actually one I use all the time. It's a pretty popular AI tool. If you've looked into any AI tools, if you've heard anything about AI, this is a tool that you probably have heard about. And like I said, it's one I use on the daily with my business and my personal life. It's ChatGPT. It is a free tool. I pay for it because I use it so much. It's worth it to me to pay for it, but you 100% don't have to. It's a free tool. ChatGPT is basically like Google, except it can talk back to you. And I know that sounds kind of creepy. I know, I understand. And I wasn't really fully on board until I got in and started using it and saw what an amazing tool it could be. So let me give you some examples of how I've used ChatGPT in the past 2 or 3 years that I've been using it. I use it for my business. I use it to help me make schedules for my business. I'm like, okay, I have this amount of hours this week because, I do work almost full time. And so I'm like, okay, I have this many hours a week. I need to create a podcast episode. I need to write some blog posts. I want to write my email list. So I just give it a list of things that I have to do. These are the hours that I have to work this week. Help me figure out how I can get it all done. And it takes my available hours. It takes what I want to get done, and it creates this amazing schedule that I can follow and get everything done on my to-do list. It's absolutely amazing. For my personal life, oh man, I use it for all sorts of things. It helps me plan outings, like day outings. If I'm like, I want to go to this city, can you find some restaurants that I might like to eat at? Or can you find some free things we can do with the kids? And it plans out the entire day, the itinerary, everything. It's like a little vacation planner if you use it in that way. I've also used it to help me meal plan. It does not do a good job putting recipes together. I've tried that. I'm like, give me a low-calorie dessert option that only uses whole foods or whatever. And it doesn't do that great of a job with recipes because it is not a human. But it's amazing at calculating things and taking, if you have okay, this is what I have in my pantry. Can you give me some ideas of what I can cook with this? Or I'm trying to eat low calorie. Can you give me some snack options that are high protein, but only 150 calories? So things like calculating and things like that, it does great at. I've used it just recently. We're going into our 9th year of homeschooling this year, which is crazy that we've been doing it that long. It is a game changer in my planning homeschool everything. I'm just blown away at how much it has helped me, saved me so much time in planning our homeschool. So this year I'll have a 11th grader, 10th grader, 1st grader, and K3, which we will probably not be doing much with K3. She'll just kind of tag along with everybody else. But it has been amazing in helping me. I'm like, okay, the high schoolers have these independent subjects, but they also have this subject that I need to be a part of, and I've got to do everything with my 1st grader. And, is there a way, I have this many hours to homeschool. Can you help me figure out how I can fit everything together with the homeschool time that I have? And so it gave me different options of ways I could plan my schedule. So that's just a little look of how I use ChatGPT. So how can we use this in our grief journey? Because we want to be careful with AI. AI is not a person. AI cannot think. AI cannot feel emotions. It is a tool that we can use, but it does not replace a human connection. But I do think there are a few things that we can use this tool for to help us, especially as grieving moms. Our minds have a hard time thinking. I know y'all feel me. It's hard to think of things sometimes or come up with things. Sometimes my mind just feels so muddled and foggy. In the last episode I released about how grief literally rewires your brain. So go listen to that one. It's episode 60. That's the reason we have brain fog and it's hard to think is because our brain's literally being rewired because of the deep grief we have gone through. So this tool can be very helpful in those situations where you're like, I just don't know. I feel like I need a little nudge and I need a little help. ChatGPT can kind of be like your assistant, your second brain, to just kind of help you a little bit in certain areas. Okay, so I have 5 kind of categories that you can use ChatGPT for to help in certain areas of your grief journey. I'm actually have a free printable where I have all these categories and some different prompts, and I'll explain what that is in a second, in each category that you can use, or it can trigger an idea for you that you can ask it to help you with. And that will be linked in the description of this episode. It's absolutely free for y'all. And I'll also have the link in that document. I'll have the link to ChatGPT to set up. Again, it's a free account. You can get the paid version if you want to. Like I said, I do because I use it in every area of my life. If you end up falling in love with this tool like I did, then you can upgrade to the paid plan, but you don't have to. It's absolutely free tool. Okay, so the 5 categories that I have is processing grief, prayer and scripture support, memory keeping, practical support on hard days, and hope for the future. So I'm just going to give you a few of the prompts that you can put into ChatGPT and just see what it comes up with. A prompt is just the thing that you type into ChatGPT. So if this is the first time you've ever used it, you'll have to give it a little background of you. Just say, I lost my son, I lost my daughter in 2017. I'm a Christian. I believe that Jesus is walking this journey with me. Just kind of give it some context. Because if you're new and you've never used it, it needs kind of some background on you and who you are. Okay, so some prompt ideas. And again, I'll have more in the document, but I'm just going to do like 1 or 2 for each category because I don't want it to be too long. So an idea for a prompt that you can do when you're having a hard time processing your grief. What are some gentle questions I can ask myself to better understand what I'm feeling right now? Help me write a journal entry that starts with, if I could say one thing to my child today, it would be. Okay, and then the second category is prayer and scripture support. Can you give me a list of comforting scriptures I can read when I miss my child at night? Give me a prayer that helps me ask God for peace when I'm overwhelmed. Okay, and then the category of memory keeping. Can you help me write a birthday message to my child in heaven? What are some creative ways I can honor my child's memory this month? Practical support on hard days. Can you give me a checklist of simple things to do today to take care of myself? I don't want to do anything today. What are some super gentle ways I can still care for myself? And then hope for the future. What are some truths from Scripture that remind me that God still has a purpose for my life? What are some things I can gently look forward to even in grief? So again, those are just a few ideas. I'll have some more in the document, and I'll make sure that's linked in the description of this episode. Just a reminder, this is just a tool that we can use to help us in our grief journey. AI and all these different things that are happening around us could never bring healing to our heart. The only person who can bring healing to our heart is Jesus, and I know y'all know that. But AI, especially as it advances, it can get very smart. So I just want us to see it for what it is. It is a tool that can help you when you're stuck in your grief, when your brain just won't work. It won't think of things, and you might need just a little assistance to help you. Again, and there are so many different ways, not just in your grief, that you can use tools like ChatGPT to help you in your personal life, because when you're walking this grief journey, things that should be simple are not. Things that you should be able to figure out, you can't. So I really think having a tool like this can help you. You can even go into it and say, I'm having a really hard day and I cannot think of something to fix for dinner. So it can just be helpful to help you get unstuck if you're stuck at any part in your grief journey. So let me know what y'all think. What do y'all think about AI? Send me an email, courtney@unlockingjoy.com. If you have any questions on AI, if you're just still not sure about it, let me know. I'd like to hear from you about this topic. And especially let me know if you try it out, what you think about it, and if you feel like it was helpful for you in your own grief journey. So that is it, but I will see y'all next time. Love you, friend. Hi, Mama. I hope this episode blessed you. If so, would you mind sharing it with a fellow grieving mama who may need some encouragement on her grief journey? Also, please take 30 seconds and leave a rating and a written review wherever you listen to this episode. Reading your reviews brings so much joy to my heart, and I love connecting with you in that way. All right, I'll see you here next Thursday for another episode. Love you, friend.